Hello?
Okay. You break there, boy. What? No. Last time I was on the head table, Clement demoted me. Yeah, and last time I was on the head table, Clement demoted me.
Go and get relegated to Delvis. I think you sure. You must check it. How the best call to be today. All right.
Ready program?
Huh?
Ready program?
My phone. Oh shit. Jesse, take my laptop and think.
I have it on my phone. My phone does like a big printout. Oh, I use my phone. No problems, no problems. What is that?
That's for Liam Ray.
Okay, so Liam.
Shall I look at it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Proper. Everybody, we're going to start, all right? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Windsor Park Conference Room as we're here for the third edition, the third player draft in this Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. And of course, I'd like to introduce the head table we have here this evening. We have the president of the Dominica Cricket Association, Mr. Clement Masler. Second vice president, Mr. Liam Sebastian. The secretary, Dana Matthew. Assistant Secretary Treasurer David Johnson, and the committee member Anthony Scotland. We'd also like to welcome the teams here, the franchises, I should say, the Indian River Rowers, the Tito Gorge Splashers, the Valley Hikers, the Barana Uti Warriors, the Sari Sari Sunrisers, and of course the defending champions, the Champagne Reef Divers. So we're here again for another draft. We'd like to, of course, acknowledge our viewers on Vibrant TV and on the Dominica Cricket Association page, also the viewers on MO News, the players who are tuned in all over Dominica and, of course, the rest of the Caribbean. It's an interesting evening as we'll find out who will be making the lineups for this third edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. We'll start things off with a prayer as we'd like to invite the Lord's presence here this evening. It's Holy Week and a time for us to reflect. So we'd like to invite Mr. Anthony Scotland, who will lead us into prayer this evening.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Let's go always in prayer. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. In this Holy Week, we ask you, Lord, to cover us in your spirit, guide us, provide us with some guidelines and guidance as we go into this venture of Dream 11. We ask God to bless our sponsors and to bless the players. We ask in Jesus' name, amen.
All right, we'd like to thank Mr. Anthony Scotland for leading us in a word of prayer. Of course, the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament, the third edition, gets underway on the 25th of May at Windsor Park. And of course, a lot of us would have remembered what transpired over the Christmas holidays in the second edition, the amount of joy and good cricket that we saw. And right now, we'd like to invite the President of the Dominica Cricket Association, Sir Clement Marcel, who will give us a few remarks as we continue with the program.
All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening to the head table. Good evening to friends and well-wishers of the cricket, the cricketing fraternity. We want to say we're here today again for a very exciting initiative, one which exposes our players, one which seeks to bring our talent out, and one which markets our country. And I want to be short tonight. I just want to wish each and every team here the best during the draft process, and ensure that we could have good teams to put up great cricket, and at the end of the day, we'll have a great product. I want to thank the hardworking staff of the Dominica Cricket Association, the board members who are really putting our best foot forward in ensuring that we continue to improve. As we see this year, we are moving into another dimension, and we are looking for great and exciting things. Our sponsors, we really want to thank you for coming on, and I want to take this opportune time to invite as many others who may be listening, viewing, or even just hearing it from word of mouth, that you can come in, and there's always a place where you could put your contribution into cricket and put your contribution into developing the livelihoods of our people. So again, tonight, I just want to thank each and everyone for making it a point of duty to be here, and wish everyone good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Clement Marcel. All right, so we're moving along quickly with things, because we know the anticipation is high. Everyone wants to know who are the players that will feature in the third edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. At this point in time, we will have an online launch of the digital fixtures, where you'll get an opportunity to see when the games will be taking place, or who's playing when, I should say. We have the first game on the 25th of May, and we're going to do that right now, the launch of the digital fixtures online. All right, so as we can see on Thursday, the 25th of May, we have the first game, the first teams on show. The Sari Sunrisers will be taking on the Indian River Rowers at 12 o'clock. And then the other game on Thursday, the opening day, the defending champions, the Champion Reef Divers, will be battling the Barano Ote Warriors in a repeat of last year's final. So what a way to kick off the third edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 competition. And we're hoping to have non-stop cricket from the 25th of May up until the 8th of June. Right now, we're going to move on to the next item, and we're going to be presenting the uniforms for this year's competition. Of course, the uniforms have been in high demand, some would say, from these fans. And we're going to have the launch now of the uniforms that the 6 franchises will be using. Last year, we saw the Champagne Reef Divers, for example. I think that their uniforms were sold out. Am I right, Kimara? Almost, yes. And also the T10 Gorge Splashers were in high demand as well. So, and the Barana Ote Warriors, also with their huge support in the Kalinago territory, the uniforms are a hot commodity there. So we will soon be having the launch of the uniforms, the new uniforms with the new sponsors, hopefully. Of course, this is the 3rd edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. We're expected to feature a number of overseas players this time around. A lot more players have entered into the draft. And there's some interesting names in the player draft. Some big names have not been retained by their respective franchises, and they will be in the draft. Okay, so we have the uniforms ready now, so we're going to present online the launch of the uniforms. Right now we have the Barana Ote Warriors. The defending champions, the Champagne Reef Divers. The Indian River Rowers. Sari Sunrisers. The T10 Gorge Splashers. And last but not least, the Valley Hikers. Okay, so that's it in terms of the or the launch of the uniforms. Now for the warm-ups. Okay, all right, so we'll do the warm-ups after. So right now we're moving along with the agenda. We'll move now into a major announcement as it relates to sponsorship. And to make that big announcement, I'd like to invite the second vice president of the Dominica Cricket Association, Sir Liam Sebastian, also the director of cricket operations at the Dominica Cricket Academy. Dominica Cricket Association.
All right, good evening to everybody in this room, and good evening to everybody online. It's my pleasure to just make this announcement. It's a historic moment for us at the DCA and with the Nature Isle T10 in the 3rd edition. With our marketability and the interest in our league, obviously the product is growing, and with that, sponsors are coming on board. And I'm pleased to announce that we have the first owners of one of the franchises. So the T10 Gorge Splashers, they have been sold to D-Thread Inc. It will be initially for a 1-year period. They have an opt-in or opt-out clause at the end of the year, they will have full ownership. Well, sorry, not full ownership, but they have a majority stake in owning the team. But the DCA will still do a lot of the negotiations with Dream 11. But so T2 Golf Splashers has now been sold to D-Trades Inc. And we would just like to use this opportunity to call the owners or the owner of D-Trades Inc., who has been not only involved in cricket but involved in other sports. And this is not the first time that he has been in the Dream 11 tournament. He has been sponsoring for the past 2 editions, and now he has taken the opportunity to purchase the team. So we'd like to say congratulations to D-Trades Inc. and T2 Golf Splashers, for being the first franchise who has been sold in the Dream 11 Nature Isle tournament. So at this point, we'd like to call the owners up. And we'll have our secretary, Ms. Dana Matthew, just to make a short presentation to officially welcome Mr. Donnie Robinson, who is the owner of D-Trades. Guess he's going to open his gift just to find out what he's getting. So this makes it official that D-Trades Inc. has purchased T2 Golf Splashers. So, congrats, Mr. Robinson, and thank you very much. We just announced that T2 Golf Splashers, Nature Boy, as well as Indian River Rowers and Champagne Reef Divers, as well as Sari Sunrisers, the Nature Boys, are off island in T2 Golf Splashers, Jelani Robinson, Indian River Rowers, Kavem Hodge, Sari Sunrisers, Kashasi John Lewis, and the defending champions, Mr. Aligafanas. So the Nature Boys are off island, so they will be represented by the team. So D-Trades Inc. and the owners will now join the table with their team to be part of the draft process. So again, I think we should give them a round of applause for being the first owners in the Nature Isle T10. And as D-Trades has got the ball rolling, we appeal to sponsors out there to contact the DCA and they can follow suit. Hopefully somebody can trump what D-Trades is doing. I think we have a lot of see maybe auto trade might be going back, but so call us and we're looking for more owners. As we said, the league is growing and the master of ceremony just asked me if the owner, Mr. Robinson, would like to say a few words. So.
Okay, good evening, and again, thanks for having us here. I will try my best not to outlast the president, so I'll be very short. I really appreciate the opportunity to be part of this tournament and cricket and sports in Dominican in general. D-Trades have always been one of the pioneers in giving back, and that's one of the small ways that we do it. We hope that this partnership is going to be a really long-term one, and it's all in the interest of sports development and developing and exposing our talent. We know we have a lot, and the more opportunities we give and get, the better it's going to be. So again, thank you for partnering with us, and we're looking forward to a really fruitful partnership and an awesome tournament, and may the best team win.
Well, thank you very much, Donnie Robinson. So the challenge is out for the rest of the corporate citizens. Get involved, purchase a team. D-Trades, thank you very much for coming on board and being the owners of the T2 Golf Splashers. So we're almost at the point where we're going to get things really excited right now with the draft. But before we get to the draft, we'd like to invite the second Vice President, Liam Sebastian, once again, just to explain the rules for the draft. Remember, like I said at the beginning, a number of players at stake, overseas players, some big names are in the drafts. And to tell us how that draft will go, Liam Sebastian will give us the rules.
All right, thanks again, Mr. Master of Ceremony. this draft this year, each team was allowed to retain 4 players, including the Nature Boy. So the retained players will be announced when the draft has started. Just for information purposes, the next edition of Dream 11, there will be no retained players because everybody will be going back into the draft after the 3rd edition. So there will be a total rejig of the tournament where maybe the Nature Boys may change, but for sure everybody is going back into the draft. So there will be no retained players in the next edition of Dream 11. And God spare, we will have future editions of Dream 11 as stated by Dream 11. So the draft guide or the draft rules, each team will pick once in each round, except where a player has been retained. So that team will not have a selection. It was done already. It was identified. Each team is allowed to retain 4 players, including the Nature Boy, as I would have just stated. The teams are not mandated to retain 4 players. It's up to their strategic planning based on what their teams have decided. Each team it's mandatory that they must select 1 overseas player in any round of their choice. They are also able, for the teams who have chosen to retain some of their overseas players from last year, they were able to do that, and you will get these announcements as we go along. Teams are also allowed 2 overseas players, but they are not mandated to select 2. The teams will obviously pick in their assigned slots, so there's not an avenue for trades to happen. The teams have 90 seconds to submit their picks. Failure to do so will result in the team being demoted to the last pick in that particular round. All slots have financial stipends, which will not be produced online. That will be done to the players and to the teams. In the event that there are any reserve players coming in for whatever reason, they will fit into the slot of the person they are replacing. And yeah, so that's basically it. The rest of the information, we already started the draft. So that's basically it, and I think the moment that we have been here for, it's that time to get. So, Mr. Master, sir.
All right. So now it's business time. And of course, all the players are logged in online via Facebook on the Dominica Cricket Association's page, on M1 News, and also on Vibrant TV. Nervous moments as we begin the draft, the 3rd draft in this Dream 11 Nature IL T10 tournament. I will start off by announcing the Nature Boys for each team. We'll start with the Valley Hikers. Their Nature Boy is Kevin James. The Indian River Rowers, their Nature Boy, Kavem Hodge. T2 Gorge Splashers, Jelani Robinson. The Champion Reef Divers, the defending champions, their Nature Boy, the Windward Islands captain, Alec Athanas. Kershansky John Lewis is the Nature Boy for the Sari Sunrisers. Gian Benjamin, the Nature Boy for the Barana Oti Warriors. So before we get into the draft, because we have the Indian River Rowers with the first pick in the draft, but before we officially begin the draft, just want to remind everyone about the main aims, main objectives of this Dream 11 Nature IL T10 tournament. Not just to expose the players and to offer or to show to Dominica and to the rest of the world what the talents that Dominica has to offer, but it's also an avenue to promote Dominica's main tourist attractions. And of course, speaking of the likes of the Indian River, for example, named after the Indian River Rowers, one of our premier tourist attractions. T2 Gorge, which was the site for the filming of Pirates of the Caribbean, one of the scenes from the Pirates of the Caribbean. and of course one of the premier tourist attractions in the village of Loda, the Baranda Oti, a model village in the Kalinago territory. And I can tell you it's something that you have to take some time off and visit. It's a lovely attraction where you can look back or you can get a sense as to how the Kalinago people, the indigenous people, how they lived centuries ago when they first came to Dominica. Sari Sari waterfalls, of course, we have the Sari Sari sunrises, and again, one of the major waterfalls here in Dominica. In Dominica, we're blessed with 365 rivers and waterfalls galore. And the Sari Sari waterfall, one of the major attractions in Dominica as well. And the Champagne Reef. Well, can you imagine going out into the sea and being treated to the bubbles of the Champagne Reef? All right, so I think we have everything set now, and we're ready for the draft. Like we said, the first pick goes to the Indian River Rowers. They have 90 seconds, and they're on the clock right now, Indian River Rowers. Okay, team, so just some in-house matters we want to deal with. We are asked to write the names twice, one for me, the Master of Ceremonies, and of course one for the production team, so they can have the name of the player on the screen. So I have the name already, but we'll just wait for the production team to have everything in order. So the Indian River Rowers, of course, they had the first pick. Finalists in the first competition, second edition of the Dream 11, things were a bit tough for them. They've made some changes, the Indian River Rowers. All right, so we're ready now with the first pick. And the Indian River Rowers, with their first pick, they've selected Ryan John. Ryan John, overseas player, and from Grenada. He's a Windward Islands player as well, an all-rounder, and he's the first pick in this Dream 11, the third edition of the Dream 11 HIL player draft. So that's one big name off the board, Ryan John, going to the Indian River Rowers. Next on the clock will be the T2 Gorge Splashers. They have the second pick in this first round. And that first pick is already in. So the Splashers not wasting any time. It looks like they really did their homework. And they're moving along very quickly. You can see the hard-working Yvette Laura, the manager for the T2 Gorge Splashers, hard at work with the laptop and all of the other devices there. I'm sure she's looking at which players she's going to draft for the next round already. Of course, the T2 Gorge Splashers were one of the top teams in the first edition of the tournament. They too struggled in the second edition. And as we heard earlier on, the big news that they've been bought by D-Thread Inc. So that will, of course, will help them financially as they look to build a power squad that they had in that first edition and look to get themselves back into the top 4 of the competition. All right, so we're ready now with the second pick from the T2 Gorge Splashers, and they've selected the national wicketkeeper batsman, Kazimi Benjamin, with their second pick. So Kazimi Benjamin, of course, would have featured for the Sari Sari Sunrisers for the first 2 editions of the Dream 11 HIL T10 tournament. He opted not to be retained, from what I gather, and he took his talents into the draft. And now he's gone from the Sari Sunrisers to the T2 Gorge Splashers, Kazimi Benjamin. All right, the third pick, well, it's already been retained. And the Sari Sunrisers, they retained Stefan Pascal with the third pick in the draft. Next on the clock, with the fourth pick in the first round, the Valley Hikers have retained Kyle KB. The Barano Oti Warriors with the fifth pick, they have the fifth pick, and they've retained Courtney Ansem. And now this brings the Champion Reef Divers on the clock with the final pick in round number 1. And the lovely Kimara Ito is already bringing to me that pick, so we'll just wait for us to have everything nice and dandy with the production crew. But just to go back a bit, the Sari Sunrisers deciding to retain Stefan Pascal, the young under-19 West Indies hopeful. National youth captain as well, Windward's youth captain as well, Stefan Pascal. And Kyle KB, national batsman, opening batsman as well. And he's also developed into a handy off-spinner as well. Okay, so we're going into the final pick of round number 1. And the defending champions, the Champion Reef Divers, they've picked Joshua Bishop with their pick. Joshua Bishop, an overseas player hailing from Barbados. And the Champion Reef Divers selected Joshua Bishop. So that brings us to the end of round number 1 in the player draft. And we can move on to round number 2. All right, so round number 2, and we can get things on moving very quickly because the Barano Oti Warriors, they had the first pick in round number 2, and they've decided to retain the all-rounder, the experienced, the veteran Mervyn Matthew. The Champion Reef Divers, they had the second pick in round number 2, and they decided to retain Jasion Alexander. And now this brings the Valley Hikers on the clock with the third pick in round number 2. All right, so we can go ahead with the announcement of the third pick in round number 2. And the Valley Hikers, well, they've decided to go with Gidron Pope, overseas-based player who played with the Valley Hikers in the second edition of the Dream 11 Nature IL T10 tournament. So Gidron Pope. Pope, of course, opening batsman for the Valley Hikers last season, was one of the top batsmen in the competition, and they've decided to retain Gidron Pope. All right, so this now brings the Sari Sunrisers on the clock. Well, and their pick is in already. Sari Sunrisers, and they have the fourth pick in round number 2. And with the fourth pick in round number 2, well, we have a West Indies player. Johnson Charles has been selected by the Sari Sunrisers. The hard-hitting Johnson Charles from St. Lucia. And those of us who've been following cricket, well, we know of the exploits that Charles had just recently, scoring the fastest century by a West Indian in T20 cricket. And anytime you can beat the universe boss Chris Gayle in something, it means you're really doing something well. And Johnson Charles will now feature for the Sari Sunrisers. The fifth pick in the second round, well, that goes to the Indian River Rowers, and they've already decided to retain Vincent Lewis with that pick. And the final pick in round number 2, well, that will go to the T2 Gorge Splashers, and they've decided to retain Malachi Zave. So we're moving on to round number 3. Some big names still on the board. But we have the Indian River Rowers. They will have the first pick in round number 3, and they've decided to retain Stephen Natram. This now brings the T2 Gorge Splashers on the clock with the second pick in round number 3, T2 Gorge Splashers. So quite an interesting second round we saw with the hard-hitting Johnson Charles going to feature in the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament, featuring with the Sari Sunrisers. But now we can move on as we will announce the pick for the Splashers, the T2 Gorge Splashers. And making his return to competitive cricket, the former Windward Islands captain, the T2 Gorge Splashers, they've selected Tyrone Theophil. And of course, that's a big pick for Tyrone Theophil. We all know what this young man went through recently. Almost lost his life in a motorcycle accident. And he's making his return back to the cricket field after 2 years. Tyrone Theophil, the former Winners captain, the pick for the T2 Gorge Splashers. On the clock now is the Sari Sunrisers. Of course, they made a lot of noise in the previous round with the selection of Johnson Charles. So the Sari Sunrisers, what do they have in store for us with their pick in round number 3? Of course, we want to acknowledge the presence of the first Vice President, Mr. J.B. John Baptist. And we're ready to go with the announcement for the pick for the Sari Sunrisers. And they have selected the all-rounder Jed Joseph with their pick. So it means that Jed Joseph is moving from the Champion Reef Divers, and now he's with the Sari Sunrisers, Jed Joseph. All right, the Champion Reef Divers, you're now on the clock with the 4th pick in round number 3. Let me say thanks to Kimara Ito with that. Champion Reef Divers, they opted to retain Jasion Alexander in the previous round. Of course, he was one of the key players on their title run, the Champion Reef Divers. Pretty handy with both bat and ball. All right. So just to recap, round 3 so far, we've seen the Rowers retaining Stephen Natram, the Splashers picking Tyrone Theophil, and the Sunrisers selecting Jed Joseph. Moving on to the 4th pick, the Champagne Reef Divers. And the Champagne Reef Divers, they've selected Kyron Phillip, the all-rounder. So Kyron Phillip will be joining the Champagne Reef Divers. I believe he played for the Valley Hikers in the previous edition, so that's a good pickup there for the Champagne Reef Divers. All right, the Valley Hikers, you're now on the clock with the 5th pick in round number 3. Well, looks to be quite interesting, that pick there. I'll announce it in just a little bit. The Valley Hikers lost one all-rounder with Kyron Phillip. Went into the draft, he was scooped up by the Champagne Reef Divers. So that sort of creates a little vacancy in the all-rounder position. Will they fill that need immediately, or will they wait a little longer in the draft? Well, we'll find out in just a little bit, as soon as we're fully ready. All right, so the Champagne, not the Champagne, but the Valley Hikers, they lost round one all-rounder. Well, they've replaced it with another one. The Valley Hikers have selected Darren Ned with their pick in round number 3. So they're just swapping. So Champagne Reef Divers and Valley Hikers, you all had some sort of communication or something, because they're swapped, there's a trade then. All right, so Darren Ned, of course, featured for the Champagne Reef Divers in the last edition. And now he's going to find a new home with the Valley Hikers. Darren Ned, one of the key contributors to the Champagne Reef Divers in their victory tie or their victory run last season. All right, the final pick in round number 3. Well, that goes to the Barano Oti Warriors, and they've decided to retain Gillen Tyson, the fast bowler from the Kalinago territory. So Gillen Tyson being retained by the Barano Oti Warriors. Moving along quickly, the night is going very quickly. We're on to round number 4. And round number 4, the Valley Hikers. They had the first pick, and they decided to retain the off-spinner Delani Alexander. All right, so Delani Alexander being retained by the Valley Hikers. And now this brings the Barano Oti Warriors with their pick. They will pick second. There are Warriors, you're now on the clock with your second pick in round number 4. So the Warriors, of course, were the first champions, the inaugural champions in this Dream 11 T10 competition. They made it to the finals again last season, but they were beaten by Alec Athanas and the Champagne Reef Divers. We all remember that entertaining finals that we got, with Alec Athanas getting a half century. It was quite an exciting finals in front of a huge crowd at the stadium. Of course, we're expecting big numbers. In the 3rd edition of the competition, we're expecting the fans to come out and really support the NHIL T10 tournament. It's really growing from strength to strength, as we've seen some big improvements compared to the 1st edition. I mean, just look at the big names that are in the player draft. The likes of Johnson Charles, West Indies player, got selected there by the Sari Sunrisers. And there's some more big names in the draft as well. So the Barano Oti Warriors, with their pick, they've decided to pick Dylan Joseph. All right, so moving along, third pick in round number 4, Champagne with Divers. And they have already decided to retain Michael Joseph. T2 Gold Splashers, well, with their pick, the 4th pick in round number 4, they've decided to retain the crowd favorite, the fan favorite, the people's player, Kamal Hamilton. And now this brings the Sorry Sunrisers on the clock with the 5th pick in round number 4. All right, so with the 5th pick in round number 4, he's going to be playing for a new team. Last year, he played for the Indian River Rowers. This time, he's going to play for the Sorry Sunrisers, the youngster, Joel Dura. And to complete the 4th round, the Indian River Rowers, they've decided to retain Daniel Jupini with the 6th pick in round number 4. Now into round number 5. And the Sorry Sunrisers, they have the 1st pick in round number 5. And again, they decided to retain one of their players, overseas-based player who brought a lot of excitement to the competition last year, Shadrach Descartes, retained by the Sorry Sunrisers. Right, so this now means that the Indian River Rowers, you're now on the clock with the 2nd pick in round number 5. All right. So the Indian River Rowers looking to rebuild, looking to get back to the top. They've made some interesting picks so far, and the pick I have in my hands is another interesting pick. It's a big domino coming off the board. All right, with the 2nd pick in round number 5, this player, he featured for the T2 Gold Splashers last season. He's got a new home this time. With the Indian River Rowers, Taj Tavini will now be playing for the Indian River Rowers with pick number 2 in round number 5. Well, interesting way that the draft is unfolding, because with the 3rd pick is now the T2 Gold Splashers. So they've lost one of their batsmen / bowlers. Of course, Taj Tavini had a man of the match performance in one of the matches last season in the Dream 11, the 2nd edition of the competition. How will they replace that, losing a good bowler? Well, it's an interesting pick. Good replacement, I must say, for the T2 Gold Splashers. They lost a bowler, or a key guy who was bowling for them in the 2nd edition, and they've replaced him with an icon in Dominica's cricket. With the 3rd pick in round number 5, the T2 Gold Splashers have selected the former West Indies spinner Shane Shillingford. Of course, Shane Shillingford, I think he needs no introduction, a hero, an icon in our cricket. And he played for the Sorry Sunrisers in the 2nd edition of the tournament. He's now going to be playing for the T10 Splashers. All right, Barana Oti Warriors on the clock with the fourth pick in round number 5. And the Barana Oti Warriors, with their pick, they picked Delroy Liverpool. So far, the Barana Oti Warriors opting to go with what has been working with them, and they're sticking to their players that they've carried them through the first 2 editions of the competition. Up next, pick number 5 were the Champagne Reef Divers. With their 5th pick, they've decided to retain Lenico Boucher. Lenico Boucher, of course, are from Barbados, and he set records there with Alec Athenas in the 2nd edition. They formed quite a formidable opening duo there, and looks like they will do the same in this 3rd edition of the competition. All right, the next pick, that goes to the Valley Hikers, and they decided to retain Brian Joseph. So Brian Joseph, all-rounder, being retained by the Valley Hikers. We're now moving on to round number 6. We're almost at the halfway point. And the Champagne Reef Divers, you have the first pick in round number 6. So the defending champions, Champagne Reef Divers. They're managed by Kimara Ito. They're coached by Felix Thomas. Alec Athenas is their captain and their marquee player. And the Champagne Reef Divers, they completed quite the turnaround last season. The 1st edition, they won just 1 game. 2nd edition, they were crowned champions. What will happen in the 3rd edition, well, we'll find out starting on the 25th of May. But we're into the 6th round right now, and the Champagne Reef Divers, with their first pick, or with the first pick, I should say, in the round number 6. I think the T10 Splashers will probably be, I wouldn't say upset, but that pick there will probably trouble them a bit. The first pick in round number 6, the Champagne Reef Divers, they've selected Shaim Caesar. And we can already see the friendly banter there between Yvette Laura and of the T10 Splashers and Felix Thomas of the Champagne Reef Divers. It looks like the Champagne Reef Divers have been eyeing Shaim Caesar for the entire tournament in the 2nd edition, and they got their man this time. So we're moving on to the 2nd pick in round number 6. That pick goes to the Valley Hikers. And I suspect when I make the announcement for that 2nd pick, the Splashers will be looking at me again. But with the 2nd pick in round number 6, the Valley Hikers, they've selected Junior Gervais. So we're seeing some players jumping, going from one team to the next. Splashers losing 2 players in a row. Shine Caesar and now Junior Gervais. All right, the Brano Oti Warriors now on the clock. We've had the 3rd pick in round number 6. So far, the Brano Oti Warriors, they haven't made any major changes to their squad. And looks like they're sticking with another player. With the 3rd pick, the Brano Oti Warriors, they've selected Keyshawn Viviel. Oh, okay. Okay, so Keyshawn Viviel is returning home. He's coming back home. He was with the Warriors in the 1st edition, and now he's coming back home for the 3rd. All right, Indian River Rovers, on the clock. With the 4th pick in round number 6. Well, Champagne Reef Divers, I think this one is for you. Indian River Rovers, they've gone into your stash, into your player stash. With the 4th pick in round number 6, the Indian River Rovers, they've selected Lee Louisi. So Lee Louisi, of course, one of the spinners for the Champagne Reef Divers. He's going to have a new home this year. He's going to be playing for the Indian River Rovers. All right, let's move along to our splashers. You're on the clock now with your 5th pick in round number 6. And it looks like the new owner's been business. I suspect that new owner there might probably want to buy an IPL team after, because the way things are going there, the Tito Gorge Splashers, they really mean business this time around. With the 5th pick in round number 6, the Splashers, they've selected the Windward Islands player, Keron Kotoy. Right, so now this means that we're coming to the end of round number 6. We have one more pick left, and that will go to the Sorry Sunrisers. Of course, the Sorry Sunrisers, the likes of Sam Kernon and Alexander Burton. The nature boy is Kashaski John Lewis. And with the final pick in round number 6, I wonder how some of the players are doing back home. Those watching online. I remember last season or the last draft, those nervous moments for that gentleman sitting right next to me there. Picked to the very last pick. All right. With the final pick in round number 6, the Sorry Sunrisers, they've selected Tyrese Libra. All right, so we have 6 rounds completed, and we have a few more to go again, but we're going to take a little break. All right, so we're going to take a little break. We've had 6 rounds of the draft completed. Some big dominoes are off the board. There's still some big dominoes on the board. And at this point in time, we'll just take a little break. And we'll use the opportunity to show you the new kits for the warm-ups online. So those of you viewing on the Dominica Cricket Association's Facebook page or on Vibrant TV, you will be privy to the warm-up kits that the players will be wearing for the 3rd edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. So we'll be right back in a little bit.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
A test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the Valley Hikers and the Tito Gosh Splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari Sunrisers and Barana Ote Warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Indian River Rowers and the Champagne Reef Divers.
Tutmundi Okadesan, yes they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
A test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the Valley Hikers and the Tito Gosh Splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari Sunrisers and Barana Ote Warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Indian River Rowers and the Champagne Reef Divers.
Tutmundi Okadesan, yes they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural. Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
A test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the Valley Hikers and the Tito Gosh Splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari Sunrisers and Barana Ote Warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Indian River Rowers and the Champagne Reef Divers.
Tutmundi Okadesan, yes they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural. Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a test of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.
Check 1, 2.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the second half of this third edition of the Player Draft in the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. What an exciting first half we saw, and we have 6 more rounds. Exciting business still to come. Of course, we're just back from the tea break, a little bit of a refreshment. I know the players watching back at home, they probably skipped that refreshment. I don't think anyone watching at home, the players, had anything to eat or drink a little while ago. But we'll continue the draft in just a little bit. We want to get to show you the viewers on the Dominica Cricket Association's page and also those on Vibrant TV. We want to show you the warm-up kits that the players are going to be using. So with no further ado, the warm-ups for the third edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. All right, so that's the warm-up kits that the players will be wearing as they get ready for their matches on a daily basis. All right, we're moving straight into round number 7 because it's already 7 after 7. Imagine that. Round number 7, and with the first pick, we have the T2 Gold Splashers on the clock. The big money spending T2 Gold Splashers. New owners, new business. Want to big up D-Threads one time. Coming on board as the new owners of the D-Thread. Well, that should be the T2 Gold Splashers. Look, I want to rename the team. Imagine that. Right, so a player who did quite well in the second edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. He featured for the Sari Sunrisers last time around. He's found a new home with the big spenders. Nicholas Redhead has been selected by the T2 Gold Splashers with the first pick in round number 7. So that's a big Gundy snapped up there by the T2 Gold Splashers. Second pick, well, Sari Sunrisers, you're on the clock. Second pick in round number 7. Nicholas Redhead, of course, Windward Islands, a fast bowler. Bowled with a lot of pace in that second edition of the tournament, terrorized a number of the batsmen. Was quite a handful to deal with. And now he's going to be with the big spenders, T2 Gold Splashers. All right, we have Sari Sunrisers, the pick is in. And the Sari Sunrisers with the second pick in round number 7, they selected Ethan Doctrove. Right, so we're moving on to round, or that should be pick number 3 in round number 7. Indian River Rowers on the clock. And the Indian River Rowers, they've submitted their pick. Barano OT Warriors will be very interested in this pick. Yeah, they'll be very interested when I make that announcement. Come on, Liam, you're sleeping on your man. Wake up, Liam Sebastian. All right, so with the third pick, round number 7, the Indian River Rowers They've selected Alvinson Jolly. So Alvinson Jolly is moving from South City to the north with the Indian River Rowers. All right, moving on to pick number 4. You have the Valley Hikers. You're now on the clock. Pick number 4 in round number 7. We're moving along quite quickly here this evening. That's an interesting pick coming up for the Valley Hikers. A former West Indies youth player, one of the standout players in schools cricket, and a former member of now the Champagne Reef Divers. The Valley Hikers have selected Yawani Regis with the 4th pick in round number 7. And I can see that one hurt Phoenix Thomas. You okay, Phoenix? All right, so moving on, the 5th pick in round number 7, Barana Oti Warriors on the clock. Hey, 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 hey. So, Barana Oti Warriors made a surprising pick. He played for the Indian River Rowers in the last 2 editions. And he was the last pick last time around. The Barana Oti Warriors have selected Clement Masler with the 5th pick in round number 7. That's a drastic improvement from last pick in the 2nd round to round number 7. And I suspect if there's a 4th one, when we have the 4th edition, I suspect Clement might be in the top 3, the way things are going. Of course, Clement Masler has been really holding his end as a bowler. I mean, all jokes aside, he's really been performing well for the Indian River Rowers. And now he's gone to the Barana Oti Warriors. Let's move on now with the final pick in round number 7. The Champagne Reef Divers, the defending champions. You're on the clock. Some interesting picks. Shaping up to be an exciting 3rd edition of the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. Remember, we get underway on the 25th of May. My good buddy Clement Masler is still trying to recover from that announcement. But the Valley Hikers, well, this pick there will probably trouble you a bit. The Champagne Reef Divers, they've selected Sholon George with the 6th pick in round number 7. Sholon George opened for the Valley Hikers last competition. He did quite well with Gidron Pope, but now he's going to play for the defending champions, Champagne Reef Divers. Let's move on now to round number 8. Barana Oti Warriors, you have the 1st pick in round number 8. So we're just awaiting the Barana Oti Warriors to give their pick. In the meantime, Clement Masler is a very happy man. He's going to sleep very well tonight. Christmas in April? All right. Brown OT Warriors with the first pick in round number 8. And they've selected Owen Burton with the first pick in round number 8. Champagne Reef Divers, you're now on the clock with the second pick in round number 8. The Divers lost Giovanni Regis in the round before. So let's see what they're going to do. So with the second pick in round number 8, the Champagne Reef Divers going for some youth, an up-and-coming youngster who's starting to really make a name for himself. He's been a member of the Windward Islands youth team. With the second pick, the Champagne Reef Divers have selected Edmund Moranci. This now brings us to pick number 3 in round number 8. Valley Hikers, you're on the clock. As we're moving along quite quickly here this evening, the teams really did their homework. They have an idea as to who they're going to be picking. So the Valley Hikers on the clock, pick is in, and the Valley Hikers have selected Jamie James with the third pick in round number 8. Going on to the fourth pick now in round number 8, Sorry Sunrisers. You can see the Sunrisers with pick number 4. Of course, after the Sunrisers, we have the Indian River Rowers and then the Splashers. But with the Sunrisers, the fourth pick in round number 8, Kine George will now be playing for the Sorry Sunrisers. Indian River Rowers on the clock. Indian River Rowers with Ben O'Pascal, Claudia Sanford as manager, as they look to get back to the top of the Dream 11 HIL T10 tournament. They've made some interesting picks so far. And we have another pick here. The Indian River Rowers, they've selected Odiyama Honore with the 5th pick in round number 6. So now we're coming to the final pick in round number 6, and round number 8. It looks like I'm having so much of a good time, I want the thing to prolong, you know. But then we're into round number 8, and the T2 Gorge Splashers, they've decided to retain Neil Payne with the 6th pick in round number 8. So now we're going to be moving on to round number 9. 4 more rounds left. Pressure mounting up for the players watching at home as to if they'll be part of the 3rd edition of the Dream 11 HIL T10 tournament. First pick in round number 9 that goes to the Indian River Rowers. And the Indian River Rowers with their first pick in round number 9 on the clock. And that pick is now in. The first pick in round number 9 for the Indian River Rowers, Elton Mark. This now brings the splashers on the clock for round number 2. That will be pick number 2 in round number 9. The big money spenders. T2 goal splashers. With the second pick in round number 9. I can tell you, it looks like the Splashers are really building a good squad. They look to bounce back from disappointing season that they had last year. The second pick in round number 9, the T2 Gold Splashers have selected Sebastian Brumant. All right, so this now brings the Sunrisers on the clock for the third pick in round number 9. And the Sari Sunrisers, they have their pick. And they're going with some youth with that pick, the third pick in round number 9. He's been a standout cricketer in the schools cricket. And now he's going to be making his debut on the big stage. Darren Tusa. It's the third pick in round number 9. Champion Reef Divers, you're on the clock. The fourth pick in round number 9. So we just have 2 more picks in round number 9, and then we're into the final 3 rounds. And into the really nervy times for the players watching at home. All right. With the pick, the fourth pick in round number 9, the Champion Reef Divers, they've picked Jovan Raphael. Valley Hikers, this now brings you on the clock with the 5th pick in round number 9. The mastermind for the Valley Hikers, Mervyn Thomas, Gary Benjamin. And the Valley Hikers have submitted their pick. So another player is going to be moving from one team to the next. Last season, he was a member of the Indian River Rowers. He hails from the South City, I believe. The Valley Hikers have selected Lex McGlaw. So Lex McGlaw with the 5th pick in round number 9. Now for the final pick in round number 9. That belongs to the Barana Ute Warriors. And as we have the final pick in round number 9, I can just let you know quickly that the Valley Hikers will have the first pick in round number 10. But as we're coming to the end of round number 9, the former champions, Barana Ute Warriors, with probably the biggest following in this competition, because when they move with busloads from the Kalinago territory. All right, the Barana Ute Warriors with the final pick in round number 9. They selected Fabian Benjamin. So we're into round number 10. 3 more rounds to go. 18 more players to be selected. And I believe we had over 100 players in the draft. So pressure time now for the players watching online. Valley Hikers, you have the first pick in round number 10. After the Valley Hikers, we'll have the Barana Ute Warriors with the second pick. So the Valley Hikers made it to the semifinals last edition. They had some power hitting at the top with Gideon Pope and Sholon George. They are the all-rounders in between. But now the Valley Hikers with the first pick in round number 10, Jason Lamoff. This means that the Barana Ute Warriors are now on the clock with the pick number 2 in round number 10. Some big players, overseas-based players are still in the draft. Remember, each team has to pick at least one overseas-based player, and you can have a maximum of 2 overseas players on your squad. So the Barana Ute Warriors, second pick in round number 10. They're going to St. Lucia, and they've selected Jonel Eugene. All right, so this now puts brings, I should say, the champion with divers on the clock with the third pick in round number 10. Champagne Reef Divers, the defending champions. So we're almost at the final stage of this player draft. Pick number 3, round number 10. The Champagne Reef Divers, they've selected Cody Peltier. All right, so this brings the T2 Gorge Splashers on the clock with pick number 4 in round number 10. The Big Money Spenders, powered by D-Treads. And it looks like a young cricketer is going to be finding a new home. Played last season with the Indian River Rovers. So you can already see the look of concern there from Claudia Sanford and Benno Pascal. T2 Gorge Splashers really making a splash in the players' draft. And with the 4th pick in round number 10, T2 Gorge Splashers, they've selected Savio Ansem. All right, so this now brings the Sari Sunrisers on the clock with the 5th pick in round number 10. T2 Gorge Splashers building a powerhouse, on paper at least. Everything is on the field, so let's see what happens on the field of play. All right, so the Sari Sunrisers, their pick is in. And with the 5th pick in round number 10, the Sari Sunrisers have selected Terrell Toussaint. This now means that the Indian River Rovers, you're on the clock with the final pick in round number 10. After that, just 12 more players to go. Some players are probably rolling the rosary right now back at home. Maybe I should probably ask Clement Masler to give them some advice as to what it's like to go through an entire draft and be picked. And be picked with the last pick. Clement, you want to say a word on to the guys? No, not yet? All right, okay. Hope and pray. That's what Clement said. All right, with the final pick in round number 10, the Indian River Rovers have selected Dorian John. All right, so we're down to the final 2 rounds. Round 11. First pick in round number 11. That goes to the Sari Sunrisers. So the Sari Sunrisers have the first pick in round number 11. Here comes that pick. Well, there are two names, so I have to probably call back. On which side? Okay, starts with I've consulted with the chief elections officer and he says it's not a spoiled ballot. So with the first pick in round number 11, the Saris Harrison Risers have selected Jason Vidal. All right, this now brings the Indian River Rowers on the clock with the second pick in round number 11. So we're almost down to the final six. Indian River Rowers. We're into round number 11 and they have the second pick. And the Indian River Rowers have selected Jesse Masler with the second pick in round number 11. This now brings the T2 Gorge Splashers on the clock with the third pick in round number 11. And the T2 Gorge Splashers with the third pick in round number 11, they've selected John Matthew. Barana Oti Warriors, you're now on the clock with the fourth pick in round number 11. Thank you. And like we said, a number of overseas players are in the draft. Some big names are in the draft. Each team must pick at least one overseas player. You can have a maximum of two. And the Barana OT Warriors, the former champions, they've selected Junior Henry from St. Lucia. Teapot, as he's commonly known. And he's going to be playing for the Barana OT Warriors. Well, he played for them last season, so he's coming back again. All right, Champion Reef Divers, you're on the clock now with the fifth pick in round number 11. So the team of Kimara Ito and Felix Thomas. Their pick is in. Champion Reef Divers, they're the defending champions. The Nature Boys, Alec Athanas. And the champion reef divers, with the fifth pick in round number 11, they've selected Shakim Thomas. So now this means that the Valley Hikers will have the final pick in round number 11. All right, so the Valley Hikers with the final pick in round number 11. After that, we head straight into the final round, round 12, where we have just 6 more players available. The Valley Hikers, with their final pick in round 11, they've selected Akan Edwards. So that brings us to the end of round number 11. We're now heading into the final round. 6 more spots up for grabs. This is what you call the pressure time of the innings. I think what is it? Last over. Champion Reef Divers, you have the first pick in round number 12, the final round. So to complete the squad for the Champion Reef Divers, the defending champions, their job is done for tonight. The Champion Reef Divers, with their final pick, the first pick in round number 12, they've selected Tej Daniel. Valley Hikers, you're now on the clock with the second pick in round number 12. So the final pick from the Valley Hikers, round number 12. So Gary Benjamin, Mervyn Thomas, and Kevin James, their job here tonight is done. With the second pick in round number 12, the final pick in round number 12 for the Valley Hikers, they have selected Ajanim Tavani. Brown Oti Warriors, it's time now for your final pick in this third edition of the player draft in the Dream 11 NHIL T10 tournament. So the Barano OT Warriors, with their final pick, they have selected Nixon Athanas. Their final pick, round 12. Indian River Rowers, it's your turn now. Your final pick in the player draft, you're picking at number 4, round number 12. So the Indian River Rowers selected at number 4. And this is the final round. After that, we're just down to 2 more teams. The Big Spending T2 Gorge Splashers and the Sorry Sunrisers. All right, we have the 4th pick in round number 12. The Indian River Rowers have selected Rick James. So with the selection of Rick James, it means that the T2 Gorge Splashers, they are now on the clock with their final pick. And the T2 God Splashers with their final pick, 5th round number 12. And the Splashers have selected Dione Roll. So this brings us down to the final pick. And we know for sure it's not going to be Clement Marsler. Clement has been sitting quite comfortably since round number 7. He's swimming in oil. So with the final pick, that will go to the Sorry Sunrisers. So I know they're about what, Liam? About over 100 players waiting to find out who's going to be that final pick. So 1 more pick to go. And the Sorry Sunrisers are on the clock. And they're staying on the clock. That's what Sam Curran says. So 1 more name to go. If Sam doesn't pick in that round, I think he waits until next year. So the final pick, last but definitely not the least, the final name, and I think maybe he should buy some lotto tickets on the weekend because it's going to be his lucky day. With the final pick in round number 12, the final pick in this player draft, the Sorry Sunrisers have selected Lesford Lewis with the final pick. So ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the player draft. Of course, we'd like to congratulate all of the players selected to represent the various franchises in the 3rd edition of the Dream 11 HIL T10 tournament. Like we said, it gets underway on the 25th of May, and we're going to be running up until the 8th of June. At this point in time, we'd like to invite Mr. Liam Sebastian to the podium because we have something new that we're going to be adding to the Dream 11 HIL T10 tournament this year. Last edition, we saw them making their debut. You can sit still. Last edition, we saw them making their debut. And of course, we're talking about the women, where we saw the women making, an impressive showing with 2 franchises. And this time around, we decided that the players or the women's players, some of them will feature with the men to get an opportunity to see what it's like at that level. So Mr. Liam Sebastian will be making that announcement.
Thank you very much. Just before some of them maybe hold me to ransom, but I just want to mention the coaches and the managers of all the teams. Say congratulations to you as well. I think we didn't mention most of them, so I'd just like to mention them. For Indian River Rowers, we have Coach Augustine Pascal and manager Mr. Claudia Sanford. Give them a round of applause, please. And then we have D-Threads Inc. T2 Splashers, managed by Miss Yvette Laura, Coach Mr. Raymond Kazimi. The Valley Hikers, coached by Mr. Mervyn Thomas and managed by Mr. Gary Benjamin. The Barna Ote Warriors, managed by Mr. Alec Raffer and coached by Mr. Thomas Kentish. The Sari Sunrisers, managed by Mr. Alexander Burton, who now switches to manager. He was the coach in the previous editions. Mr. Alexander Burton, manager, and Mr. Sam Kernan, coach. And the defending champions, managed by Ms. Kimara Ito and coached by Mr. Phoenix Thomas. He said I should say it properly. The manager, Ms. Kimara Ito, and coach, Mr. Phoenix Thomas. Did I say it properly this time? Okay, sorry. All right, as Master of Ceremony would have said, the women will not form part of the tournament in terms of playing matches, but we as a DCA took the opportunity to include 2 women as part of all the 6 teams. So they will be part of the teams as they will be training and on match days as well. So they will be going through some of the same processes as well as the men. So the names, they go as follows: Indian River Rowers, Abini Seja and Rian Privo. These are the 2 for Indian River Rowers. The Valley Hikers, Jeannie Valmore and the reigning Miss Dominica Adicia Burton. The Sari Sunrisers, Jem Elwa and Tabitha Green. The Barana Ote Warriors, Pearl Etienne and Amir Gilbert. The T2 Splashers, Anisha Fontaine and Jennifer Gasper. And the Champagne Reef Divers, Shaniqua Nelson and Ronette Sanford. Just want to announce that, well, for those of us who don't know, the DCA would have recently signed a sponsorship deal with Stonehill from Pakistan, and this tournament we will be using our white cricket balls from Stonehill. So just want to say that we will be using Stonehill branded balls for this Dream 11 T10 competition.
Thank you very much, Liam Sebastian. So this brings us to the end of the player draft for this 3rd edition of the Dream 11 Nature IL T10 tournament. We'd like to thank everyone for viewing back at home, those on MO News, on Vibian TV, and of course on the Dominica Cricket Association Facebook page. We'd like to thank and congratulate all of the players selected once again. And of course, thank you to the coaches and managers of the respective franchises. Want to also, of course, big up the main sponsor. We'd like to thank the main sponsor, Dream 11, because without Dream 11, this wouldn't be possible. So, thank you everyone for tuning in, and we're looking forward to seeing you on the 25th of May for the first game in the third edition of the Dream 11 Nature IL T10 tournament. Thank you for viewing.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like
Giving them
it.
a taste of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a taste of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
Come to see the valley hikers and the Tito Gosh splashers.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Sari sunrisers and Barana Ote warriors.
Everybody coming down to the stadium.
To see Indian river rowers and the Champagne Reef divers.
Tutmundi Okadesan, yes they coming down.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it. Yes.
Dominica, the natural, giving them a taste of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767.
Giving them a taste of nature. Dream 11, natural T10 in Dominica. 767. Everybody coming down to the stadium.
So come and enjoy the cricket.
All you know, all you like it.